Okay, made a few changes to this clump of trees here. I added a couple little ones here, and then as you can see, I brought that hillside way down. I wanted it to be less important. I wanted more sky, less just sort of weak hillside, weak distant hills. So I'm happy with that as a composition. Washed in these trees with ultramarine blue, a little bit of burnt sienna. Ultramarine blue and burnt sienna, of course, is my dark color that I use for outlining. So I wiped the excess off the palette, but I never cleaned my brush, and then I just added some cobalt blue and a little bit of alizarin crimson, actually, to go a little bit mauve and to dirty up this cobalt blue, because of course cobalt can be very electric in appearance, and I did not want that, certainly not during the wash-in. Excuse me. A little bit generous there in a couple of spots. Okay. And then from there, I wiped my excess off the palette, and without cleaning the brush, I didn't need to, I just added some raw umber and a bit of white. So now I'm washing in the rocks that are going to be the least proud of this structure. You know, this apron that's coming forward here, and here, and a bit here as well. That's going to catch most of the light, but the rocks that are slightly behind it will be darker. Now, not as dark as you're seeing them now, but they're certainly not going to be the highlight. Now, thinking about the light, I think I am going to go with plan A. We're going to have light coming from the right and behind us a little bit, coming over our right shoulder, spilling onto these. But I'm not going to have, I don't believe I'm going to end up with any bright, direct sun, so to speak. I think it's going to be more ambient glow-ish. That sort of thing. But we'll see. We'll see when we get there. But as far as the washing is concerned, I'm just going to be careful. I do not want to go too light. It's a lot more work if you make the mistake of going too light to begin with, and then have to darken it. It gives you a less clean look. So that's why I'm sort of keeping very toned down. Of course, this probably all looks very dark to you. I don't know how much color you can see. Because we're against a white canvas, the camera is not picking up the color so well. That's just the nature of how it goes. Okay, we'll add a little more raw umber and a little more titanium white to this. We'll go just another shade lighter and another shade bluer, sorry, another shade warmer, because we're whatever remnants of blue, of cobalt blue that were in there, are getting thinned off to the point now where they're not affecting the color too much. Not keeping the color too cold. We don't want cold as we work our way into here. Bit of junk on the brush. We got very noisy days here right now. I don't know how much you can hear it on camera, but they're bringing the corn in from the fields around here, so that's always a noisy time of year. A lot of big tractors towing big equipment. And I don't like closing my window. sometimes I'll do it because if it's just too noisy, and I'm making a video where it's kind of important that you can hear what I'm saying, then I'll close the window. I think I did on the last video actually, a little bit, but I'm not too worried about it right now. It's not crazy busy at the moment. Okay. Really nothing spectacular about doing this. It's just labor. But I still need to be careful. I still need to be persnickety with my strokes. Because if I'm not, I'll pay for it later with extra work to do. As I think most of us are, much more interested in working smart than hard. Working hard without good reason is just a waste of energy, waste of resources. Okay, a little more raw umber, a little more titanium white. You know, all these lines in the rock, some are cracks, some are crevices, and we'll determine that when we get to the serious business of our overpainting. I wanted to show you this part because you could see, you know, the lines were fairly well defined against the white canvas. I wanted to show you how the plan was to just sort of have rocks tumbling over each other a little bit with those curved, well-worn bedrock features going off into the distance. It's bedrock, it's broken bedrock, but it's bedrock. Kind of hard to get too neat using a boar's hair brush. If I use a synthetic brush or a sable or something, yeah, it would be easier, but you know what would end up happening when I'm doing this kind of thing? I'd end up with too neat and too precise lines, and the painting would not appear to be so painterly then. And I kind of like the painterly look, even though often my paintings don't have the painterly look so much. If I use a knife they do, but often with a brush I kind of tend to get kind of smooth and precise. Okay, I think that'll do it for now. Yeah, in the water we're likely to get a little heavier into the blues again. Be a little lighter here. You know, picking up some of the rock color, really more sky, and then we get closer and we'll go to a deeper ultramarine. And again, you know, tone it down, cool it off, as I like to do on the edges of a painting. Not 100% of the time or 100% of the painting, but as a general rule of the thumb, I find it beneficial to cool your temperatures, soften your lines, you know, don't make violent lines when you get to, you know, either side, top or bottom. In general, just as a general rule. That all aids to support your focal area, which will be somewhere within here, right? Your focal point somewhere around here. We'll see how the sky goes. All right. That's it for the moment. You'll see the painting when it's completely washed in, because at that point I'll start painting the sky, and I'll take you along for at least a portion of painting the sky. Looking forward to it. It's kind of fun to work on something a little more quick and, I don't know, strong, blocky, moving, without having to worry about the details of man-made elements within the painting. It's nature. Nature can do a lot of things. That's the freedom of painting simple landscapes. Okay, see you soon.